that is how the new Prorex Craw looks. As you already know, I really like to fish craw imitations when I'm fishing for perch. Now for 2020 we got a new bait called Prorex Craw. It comes in a 9.5 centimeter version and a 11.25 centimeter version. We got 6 different colors, and these baits are really soft in the material. You got 2 claw imitations, but also these tentacles that swims at the lowest of speeds. Why do I like to fish crawfish imitation that much? That's because if you walk along the weed line where people fish, you will see that maybe 8 out of 10 are using a traditional jig, shad jig or anything like that. Not so many people fish with crawfish imitations, and it's a bait that the perch are not quite used to. So when you're fishing these really tricky days and the fish are picky and not really biting, sometimes this makes all the difference. Some people think that you only fish crawfish imitations in maybe like late April, May, or maybe late August, September, because that's when the big crawfish are changing their shells. But I've been trying to read about some studies about this, and that's how it's working with the crawfish. They are changing shells like 2 times a year, but smaller crawfish, they grow so fast that they grow out of their shell maybe 4 to 5 times a year. So these months, May, August, September, I prefer to use quite big crawfish imitation. But all other months, this 9.5 centimeter version is really good when the smaller crawfish are changing their shells. So don't settle with just one size. Keep a few different sizes. And if you want a even smaller crawfish, remember to check the Prorex Craw. It's really nice as well. Check out the new Prorex Craw, and of course the Prorex Craw if you need some new crawfish imitations in your lure box. Of course, I'm gonna talk to you guys about how I fish my craw imitations. There are quite some different methods that I prefer using. Either I fish it on a traditional jig head, just like you jig fish any other type of bait. But I think the foremost used technique is a traditional stand-up head. Really easy. You jig it just like you jig any other bait, but every time the bait lands on the bottom, it stands up, and it stands up with its craw, like in a defensive stance. If I'm not using these 2 methods, I often fish it either on a Texas rig or with our new flex head, because this flex head gives the bait a lot more moment, and this can be the difference from a traditional jig head to this flex head version. When it's really cold, like now, I sometimes fish a Carolina rig. Carolina rig is basically the same as a Texas rig with a bullet weight and a pearl, but on the Carolina rig you got a really long leader before the bait comes. For example, here I got maybe 1.5 meters, so the bullet weight drags around in the dirt in the water, and 1 to 1.5 meters after comes the craw imitation. And this is a really good technique if you need to fish really slow in cold water. So you can basically fish a craw imitation on any type of rig. It's just up to you how you decide to fish it, depending on the temperature in the water and so on. Start fish crawfish imitations. It's really good, and it works all year round.